I'd like to delve back into 1931. A House of Representatives Special Committee described the enemy, communism. And here's what they said. The following, the House of Representatives said, is a definition of communism. This is not my definition. This is the House's definition. A worldwide political organization advocating, 1, hatred of God and all forms of religion. 2, they advocate destruction of private property and inheritance. 3, they advocate absolute social and racial equality, promotion of class hatred. They advocate revolutionary propaganda, stirring up strikes, riots, sabotage, bloodshed, and civil war. The House of Representatives in 1931 said they advocate the destruction of all forms of representative or democratic government, including civil liberties such as freedom of speech, of the press, of assembly, and trial by jury. Number 6, the House of Representatives said the ultimate and final objective is by means of world revolution to establish the dictatorship of the so-called proletariat into one world union. In other words, what George Bush described as the New World Order. Incredible to think that someone who has been espoused as a conservative Republican, George Bush, holds dearly to the beliefs of the Communist Party. The communist rules for revolution read like this. Ask yourself if any of these apply to today. Corrupt the young. Get them away from religion. Get them interested in sex. Make them superficial and destroy their ruggedness. If you like, you could take a pencil and just make a little check mark if it's already been done. Get control of all means of publicity. Get people's minds off their government by focusing their attention on athletics, sexy books and plays, and trivialities. Divide the people into hostile groups by constantly harping on controversial matters of absolutely no importance. Tanya Harding, O.J. Simpson. We've spent 2 years with O.J. We spent a week with John F. Kennedy. Destroy the people's faith in their natural leaders by holding them up to contempt and ridicule. Always preach true democracy, but seize power as fast and as ruthlessly as possible. Congress just passed the anti-terrorist bill. That bill allows the government of the United States of America to use its own military on American citizenry. Communist rules for revolution by encouraging government extravagance, destroy its credit, produce fear of inflation with rising prices and general discontent. Someone said earlier today the mistake that the Freemen in Montana made was they wrote fraudulent checks. But I ask you, how can you defraud a fraudulent bank? The Federal Reserve is completely fraudulent. It makes money out of thin air and then charges usury on top of it. Promote unnecessary strikes in vital industry, encourage civil disorders, and foster a lenient and soft attitude on the part of government towards such disorders. By specious, meaning fair-seeming but deceptive. Argument caused the breakdown. Breakdown of what? Old moral virtues, honesty, and sobriety. In other words, promote abortion, homosexuality, lesbianism, witchcraft. Cause the restriction of all firearms on some pretext with a view of confiscating them and leaving the population helpless. The 1986 Gun Act was taken almost verbatim from Nazi Germany's in the 1930s. What is communism? That is communism. How can we know when we are dealing with communism? Well, are we dealing with hatred of God? Are we dealing with the destruction of private property? Are we dealing with civil strife? Are we dealing with the destruction of all forms of representative government? Are we dealing with either a covert or overt world revolution? That is communism. How many check marks have you made so far? Now, how can we know who is a communist? Communists support these things that we were just talking about. Let me tell you what communists do. You want to know when you've got a communist? This was the plan passed from Joseph Stalin to various communist district organizers in helping America self-destruct. Religion, in the area of religion, by philosophy, mysticism, the development of liberal cults, and the furtherance of atheism, discredit all Christian creeds. What have we got today? We've got New Age, occult cartoons, occult in the bookstores, occult in the public schools, and occult movies and occult videos. In the ethical area, corrupt morality by advocating promiscuity and advising high school and university students to practice promiscuity, introduce companionate marriage ideas, advocate legalized abortions, destroy the family, abolition of inheritance, even to the extent of names, destruction of all records of title, birth, family history. So what have they done? Promote sex education, hand out condoms, promote living together, homosexuality, lesbianism, and divorce when it's convenient. This is communism. In the aesthetic area, what did Joseph Stalin tell his various communist district organizers to do? Cultivate the ugly. Cultivate futuristic and aberrant art, literature, drama, and music. Cultivate the practice of crude Orientalism, modernism, and degenerate perversion. Our government finances this. During the early part of Bill Clinton's administration, under Jane Alexander, American taxpayers financed a 3-foot mound of synthetic excrement, a sculpture of 2 women engaging in oral sex, a film actually showing one man pushing his head into another man's rectum, a photo of a man with a bullwhip in his rectum, a film depicting Jesus Christ as a topless woman, and a porn film titled The Sluts and Goddesses Workshop. Wake up! This is communism. In the sociological, abolition of social opposition by subversive practices, the display of vulgar extravagance, promotion, and exaggeration of all social and economic conditions, political corruption, create unrest, suspicion, revolt by the workers, intensify class war. How do you do that? Blacks against whites, haves against have-nots, people with jobs against people with no jobs, men against women, women against men, liberals against conservatives, conservatives against liberals, homosexuals against Christians, children against parents, parents against children, Muslims against Jews. Only 40 or 50 years ago, this nation didn't feel that way. We were together. We fought a war together. World War II we fought together. World War I we fought together. But why? We fought World War I to get the League of Nations. We fought World War II to get the United Nations. There has never been a doubt in the people who are running this little machine where we're going. We're going into the New World Order. Political. Set up the ideal of thinking internationally. Your House of Representatives knows this. This was Joseph Stalin. Set up the ideal of thinking internationally so as to undermine national patriotism. Weaken all government departments by corruption. Attack all political parties and create suspicion and distrust upon any and all occasions. You know, do we vote Republican or do we vote Democrat? Well, it's up to you. Do you vote for Satan or the devil? Take your pick. Amplify facts by fiction and create startling exposures. Ridicule all patriotic effort and undermine all preparation for defense. Carry out our set policy for world revolution outlined in Reichhoff's position. And what was Reichhoff's position? It is our duty, he said, to inculcate in the minds of all nations the theory of international friendship. The theory of international friendship. Pacifism. Peace is what we hear today. And disarmament, which the Vatican promotes right now, by the way. Encouraging resistance to military appropriations and training at the same time. However, never for one moment relaxing our efforts in the upbuilding of our own military establishment. So, whether they're a card-carrying communist or not, an individual who supports the things that we just read is, in fact, living up to and working for the values and the system of communism. Well, the media tells us that communism is dead. I'm going to tell you that any sense of truth coming from the media is what is dead.